Curious about a career in product management? Step into the world of a product manager in this exclusive 2-part series. In this part 1 video, Mastering the Discovery, we'll dive deep into all the behind the scenes that happens before you even get to execution and building the product. Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Erin and today we have a special guest, Nuriha. Excited to have you back to talk about product management. We've had a lot of questions since you were last on the channel. You recently brought a brand new product to market at your software company, so welcome.
Glad to be back, Erin. Thank you.
Nuriha, what's the very first thing you do when building a product?
The very first thing that I like to do is ask the question, what is the problem you are solving? And then double click more into that question, who are your customers and who are your end users? For example, I work in a fintech company and I work with lots of different user personas. I work with CFOs, I work with controllers, department location managers, accountants. And so depending upon the type, you wanna cater to those needs. For example, when I work with CFOs, they care about the financial statements and the presentation of it, the balance sheets, the profit and loss statements. Versus if I work with controllers, they care more about accuracy and correctness. And if I work with accountants, they are more inclined towards how can I finish this task quickly? So you want to cater accordingly. And then also, how are your customers solving for that missing need in terms of accomplishing their tasks and going on about their day? Around the same time, what is the competition out there? What are your competitors doing? And doing a lot of analysis and research. What's the market trend? And then figuring out how can you add value to your end users and how you can make their lives easy.
That's great. So you've done your due diligence. What comes next?
The next step is doing cost analysis. How can you get money from your upper management so that they can fund your project and you can start building your product? You need to build a case. You need to do a lot of analysis. How much money you are going to be spending in building your product? What's the return on investment? There's multiple ways to go on about doing this. One way is to sit down with your architect. Are we looking at 2 months or are we looking at 2 years in delivering this? How many resources do you need? Is it your engineers or user experience people, content writers? What's the team looking like? Figure out the spending part, compare that with the ROI you're gonna get. Based on that, you prepare a vision for the product. In the vision, you lay out multiple things, of course. One of the main things is a plan, a very high level plan on what is your minimum viable product. It can be a long product, it can take years and years, and you don't want to take that much time. What's the bare minimum I want to do? And these days, people call it MLP, which is minimum lovable product. And based on that, you prepare a plan, discuss that with your upper management, hopefully get that approved.
Okay, the product is a solid idea, the funding is approved, the plan is built. Are we ready to start building?
Not yet. The very next thing you would do is start working on writing the requirements, the details of how you want to execute it. These details would involve the actual product definition. What are the different use cases? What is the what, the why, the how, and the who? For example, if you've decided you want to build a building with 10 floors, you don't just go start building it. You need to figure out if there are 10 floors within each floor, how many windows do you want? What are the measurements of each windows? How many rooms do you want? So you want to lay out these exact details when you go and supply this information to your, whether that's engineers, UX, content writer, whoever that is. When you supply this information to them, they know exactly how to build it and what to build it. Next key step is to really make sure all the details are written out correctly and it's not left for people to interpret. It's however way you want your product to be built, those details are carved out very crisply and nicely. This is really the critical step. You want to take your requirements, discuss them with all the relevant stakeholders. Now, these stakeholders could vary depending upon your company and the type of product manager you are. For me, it involves engineering who will actually go and build the product. Also user experience folks, content writers. We want to discuss with all these different departments in parallel and make sure that if you're building a software product, where is it that you want to place your button? How many mouse clicks do you want to give to the customer? You also discuss things like performance for if it's a software product. How much time is it actually taking to load a page, to load the content within the page? Are you dealing with 3-4 records or 3-4 pieces of information, or are you dealing with hundreds of thousands, traffic and things like that? So you want to make sure all these details are properly discussed with your entire team before you go and start working and executing on your requirements. Take a look at Venmo. If you want to pay some money to your friend relative, whoever it is, how easy it is. You find your person you want to pay, you enter the payment amount, and then you click submit. It really takes just 3 mouse clicks to pay someone money. Figuring this entire user journey and experience out, you want to lay this out in your requirements and discuss that with your user experience folks. Now, not all the details will be carved out. You want to really have a discussion so that the creativity can flow. There could be different ways of accomplishing the same goal. So you want to have a lot of healthy discussions and see what is the best way possible to accomplish that goal.
Thanks for that. It sure seems like there's a certain magic in getting the discovery right in order to have a successful product. What's the single most important thing to keep in mind when you're going through this initial discovery phase?
Making sure that you are starting with your users and the rest will follow. Really, how can you add value to your end users and make their lives easier?
Let's leave it here and we'll pick up with the actual delivery, the execution of the product and the building out of the product in video number 2.
Sounds good.
Thank you so much for watching. I'll add a link to part 2 video as soon as it's live. If you found this video helpful, leave a thumbs up and please consider subscribe. Thank you so much and have a great day.
Thanks for watching.